Hello. I'm back. Day 3. Can you believe it? Day 3. So we are going to push through this thing as we have been the last 2 days. So we are progressing here, right? I'm not going to celebrate too heavily just yet because again, it's day 3 and we have a total of 30 days to conquer. And as I've told you before, I am committed to doing so, whether it be here in the same location or if I am en route somewhere, whatever it may be, I will make my way to do my live recording for that day. How about that? So as you know, I'm going to wait for folks to join. And while I do that, of course, I've got to share this out so I can make sure some other folks see it just in case they're not on my page. So if you have tuned in, make sure that you say hello. Say hello. Tell me where you're from. Let me know if you've been tuning in. Say something. Let me know you're out there. But I am going to share this and then we'll jump right into it. How does that sound? Hope it sounds good to you because it sounds great to me. So who's out there? I see some folks have joined, but I haven't seen any thumbs up, no heart love. Can a sister get a little love on this beautiful Sunday? As I share it out. And you too, you should also share this out so that others can hear about, see about, learn about what you have been engaged in. How about that? Can we commit to that? I've committed to recording for 30 days. So surely you can support me in doing just that, sharing it out. Got my curtain all showing my blinds and everything, huh? Okay. So I've shared that out successfully. And we can go ahead and get started here. How about that? So we talked about in the last 2 days that the sections I've been covering for 7 days straight will be all related to shifting your mindset, right? And so yesterday we talked about not feeling accomplished by mere intention. The day before that was creating capacity. So if you missed either of those days, make sure you tune in to the recording or the replay rather, so that you can catch up. You got to catch up so you can understand exactly where we're going with this thing. So, again, I'm Dr. Jatun Dorsey, and I said again, but I don't think I even mentioned that yet. But if you've tuned in before, you know who I am. If you haven't, it would be rude of me to not introduce myself. So I'm Dr. Jatun Dorsey, best-selling Amazon best-selling author. Goodness, I need to get myself together. And speaker and professor, so many different things, just as you are, right? We're all well involved, which is why I wanted to make sure that I took advantage of this last month of the year. And it's particularly 30 days because I am leveraging my book that was released earlier this year. And in the book, it's called Intentional Living. Actually, here's the book here. If you haven't received or ordered your copy, I'll be sharing a link so that you can do just that. So it's even better if you have the book so that you can follow along as we do these lives for the next couple of days. No, not couple. It's quite a few days. So it'll be good for you to have this book with you as we journey through this book, because there are questions, productivity ponders. So things that not only jog your thoughts, but also thrust you into action. So that's the main thing. That's the goal, the overall goal. And we don't want to wait until January 1st because we've been waiting, we've been wondering, we've been reactionary, and now it's time for us to be our creative selves, right? That means that we are intentionally living, which means we're going to do everything intentionally, and that includes planning. But beyond planning, we've got to put the work behind the plan, because the plan ain't going to work itself. I'm just saying. But all in all, I teach parallelpreneurs how to successfully launch their business, how to skillfully manage their time. Why? Because we are doing so much, right? So, in doing so, you are better able to manage your endeavors and your career responsibilities while also living out your passion. But get this, in a stress free zone. That's the main part right there. You're doing all this stuff, right? You enjoy every bit of it, I hope. But sometimes you get overwhelmed because you just got a lot going on. Everybody's tugging on you for different directions, and that can happen with even with things that we love to do and we enjoy doing. Right? We just get so heavily involved that at times that becomes the case. So I hope with all that I'm going to be sharing in these 30 days that some of this will be something you can leverage in order to function more in that stress-free zone. So with that being said, again, day 3, and today the topic is distractions are like contractions. Now, let me start by saying your girl ain't had a contraction before, okay? But, you know, we know how contractions happen. So it's not so much about the pain, although it can be considered and should be considered. But in this instance, what I'm talking more about is the act of the contraction. Hey, Dorothy. Thank you guys for joining. My things are just finally popping up. Hey, Allison. Thanks for joining. Melina, thanks for joining as well. Loving the hearts and the thumbs up. Continue to do that. Thank you all for joining. Share this out. If you're just tuning in, you are right on time. I did my introduction and my little jabber that I like to do to get started here. Of course, we had to pause for me to even share it. So I wouldn't do something that I wouldn't ask you to do something that I hadn't done myself. So I've already shared it. Now tag you're it. Please share this out to your folks so that they can get this beneficial information as well, okay? Alrighty, so we're going to jump right into it. So what did I say the topic was? Who's listening? I'm just saying. I wish you guys could respond back just as quickly as I ask these questions because that's what I do in the classroom, right? But distractions are like contractions. And the thing that I want you to really realize in that statement is the fact that you just never know when a contraction is going to come about, right? And I've seen others have the contractions. And matter of fact, one of my closest friends just had a baby, and I was in the room with her as she was going through these labor pains, right? And there will be a moment where she's okay, we're laughing, we're joking, and then suddenly, yeah, there's a pause because she has to adjust to that feeling, right? And she wasn't expecting that to come because you just never know when it's going to happen. And that's in essence what I mean by distractions are like contractions. In other words, these distractions are going to come about in life unexpectedly, unplanned, right? But they're going to happen. So in essence, you can plan, but you may not know exactly what that distraction is, nor will you know when it will occur. But that's what intentional living is all about. It's truly getting to the root of your plan, your future plan, your current plan, having a plan, right? Documenting that plan and truly taking into account that there may be times in the future, maybe even the next second, that something will happen that may deter you from your goal, that may deter you or distract you from your focus towards that goal, right? So that's what I want you to do, to focus more on the fact that this is going to happen. Don't allow those distractions or contractions to come about and frighten you or to pull upon you fear that draws you back from, continuing to achieve your goals. Sometimes we get dismayed and defeated because these things come about. But again, we should know that that's going to happen. And some of these distractions could be, larger than the other. It may be more impactful on your life and your time than the other. So there's so many variations we could talk about, right? We could do that all day long. But the point is that you can plan the distractions, right? Plan to accommodate the distractions. Let me be more specific about that. So even when it comes to when you're planning your finances, right, for the year, and there are some things that you're going to pay every month. But then there are some things you may pay quarterly. But then there are also some things that may come about that don't typically require you to pay attention to or to pay, right? So you need to plan for that. So you should have a bucket of money that you set aside for those instances, just in case something like that occurs, so that you don't have to dip into your savings, or you don't have to dip into whatever these other accounts are that you have allocated towards certain bills and certain other responsibilities. Same as it is with our goals, with our dreams. Think of them as various accounts. You got various accounts in your life as you work towards achieving these goals. And that's very important, because you've got to know exactly where you need to make deposits and when you can make withdrawals. I'll get it out once and for all, right? So that's the important piece, that we have to truly understand our plan, because without the plan, you're not equipped. You're not equipped to address these distractions as they come. So, any questions thus far? I got to take a look over here, because y'all know, look, I'm a multitasker by heart. Like, I can do a lot of different things. But yeah, me reading these comments and talking, sometimes you got to pause. So I see some more heart love, some thumbs up. Thank you all for staying on and showing me some love, letting me know that you guys are here. So any questions so far? Any comments? Has everyone shared this out? Let's ask that question again. Like, love, all that good stuff, right? Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to feed you, and this is reciprocation. So you don't have to just sit and listen to me talk all day. That can probably get a little boring. No, I hope it doesn't. But yeah, I want to hear back from you. I want to hear what you think you're thinking, what feedback you have. What distractions have you experienced in life that have thrown you off course? Hey, Tiffany, thank you for joining. What distractions have taken you off course, right? How long have you allowed these things to continue to manifest in your life and really deter you? Again, it's gonna happen. But what's important is how you respond to it. Are we reactionary, or are we being our creative selves? In other words, are you planning? As I mentioned, are you planning? That means that you're being your creative self when you're planning for these instances to occur. But if you're not planning for them, you're not anticipating them, even though you know it's going to happen, and you allow it to occur in your life, and then you just simply get off track, and all the work that you've done up until now just goes and falls by the wayside because of this one distraction. That one distraction can be something as small as somebody not liking your posts, right? Somebody not buying your product, somebody not attending your event. These are distractions, right? But the thing is, we should expect such things to occur. So we shouldn't allow them to develop into a state of which they control how we continue to be. That's important. Hey, Alice, thank you for joining. So we cannot absolutely, without a doubt, allow such things to do that, because if we did, guess what? We'll never get anything done. I know I wouldn't. If I was worried about these distractions, what it's going to do to me, how it's going to hold me back, if I'm always thinking about that negative thing. And as a matter of fact, I think I kind of talked about that on Monday when we were talking about negative self-chatter, right? And how we oftentimes talk so negatively to ourselves before we even allow the world to give us what they're going to give, which is partly negativity, right? We've already talked ourselves out of it. We've already told ourselves we can't do it. We won't be successful. Nobody will come, or nobody will like it. We say all these different things and talk ourselves out of it. And guess what? That's a distraction. So in essence, you can be a distraction to yourself. That's a word right there. Now, who can admit to distracting themselves right now? Who is doing that? That's what I need to know. Raise your hand, thumbs up. Well, you guys have already sent some thumbs up, so I don't want to get that confused. So show me a hand or something if you've allowed distractions to cause you to get off track. And it's okay, because like I said, it happens. It's happened to me, and I'm sure it won't be the last time that it will happen. But the point is that you're aware. When you become aware, then you can do something about it, and you can react. You won't be reacting, but you can respond in a different way to where you can continue towards progressing to your goal. Allison says, me. Girl, so I'm not alone. That's good when we know we're not alone. So you got some sisters in your corner to help push you when you do have that distraction. So that's another thing, having that accountability partner, right? And being honest and being real about when we have these challenges, because all too often we just try not to say anything, hope nobody else notices, because I'm just going to tiptoe through this real quick, like not really knowing what it's going to turn out to be. But sometimes we got to deal with it. All the time we got to deal with it. Sometimes we need to talk to somebody about it. Right? Had to give me a little sippy sip there. So, what are you doing to prepare for these distractions that are bound to come across your life time and time again? What are you going to do in order to avoid getting off track? Because sometimes you need to welcome those distractions, which again, I talked about yesterday, I believe, when I was describing the bow and arrow. When you think about the bow and arrow, the farther back you pull it, the farther it thrusts forward, right? So that means it could be some distractions, some discouragement, some disappointments that are pulling you back. Although you were progressing and you felt successful at working towards your ultimate goal, but sometimes there are things that come about that may pull you back. And it may be for a good reason to catch your attention, because there's something that you're not paying attention to that you should be. So pay attention to the process. Allow it to happen. And know that if you respond in a prepared way, that you're bound to thrust even farther ahead than you had even imagined. That's a word. I'm just saying. It's a word for me. So, with that, I am going to wrap up because it is near my bedtime, because I had a long weekend with some great activities. If you didn't hear about yesterday's activity, you will hear about it in the replay on the video I did yesterday. And then today I went and supported Marguerite Johnson at her, Sister Sunday event. Sunday being ice cream Sundays. So it was pretty cool there. I love supporting my sisters, my fellas, all of you all, because I love to see us doing some great things, not only in the community, but just amongst each other and supporting one another. So that was awesome as well. I want to make sure that you do check me out on my website, as you see there in the left, it's my left corner, drjatun.com. You can email me at drjatun.com. Goodness, I couldn't even get that out. So it's Jatun at drjatun.com. Email me there. Follow me on social media at drjatun on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, straight flexing. And then, of course, I've always got to mention A Date with the Dorseys, the podcast with my husband. We do weekly. So you'll be seeing that post come out this week for a new discussion. I just enjoy that conversation with my husband, and I hope that you all do too, because we share some great insight there as well. And perhaps one day I'll get him to join me on my live, since I'm doing this for a whole 30 days. Right? Why not invite others to join and add into the conversation? So make sure that you do tune in to that as well, and I can share the link in the comments once I get off here. I could have put it on the screen, but I didn't, and I don't want to hold you guys up just for that. And then finally, I also would love to have your feedback on a survey that I have out, just to see what your feedback is as far as the things that you need, how I can better serve you for 2018. And I have some awesome plans in place, but I don't want to feed you what you don't need, because you won't eat it if I put it on the plate, right? So I want you to tell me what you'd like on your menu for 2018, so that we can partner, so that we can work together, so that I can serve you in the best manner, right? So with that, it would only take you like less than 5 minutes. I think it's only like 6 or so questions, right? Real quick and easy. And the plus to that is that you have an opportunity to win a copy of both of my books, signed, sealed, and delivered to you, just for offering your feedback. So at the end of this month, I'll be doing a random drawing, just to select the winner for that. So make sure that you check out the link. Once I post that, once the video is posted, I'll add that to the comments as well, so that you'll have that. And then, I think I already said finally last thing, but no, it's not. So y'all know I do that. I think about, everything after I say, I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down. But that's just how it goes when you play in the sandbox with me. So get used to that. But the other thing I wanted to remind you of is the book, my fourth book, that's going to be released early next year. And it's also entitled Intentional Living. But as you know, the 30 principles that I am walking through for this 30-day challenge, that was from my book, where I share practical tips, tried and true tips on how to increase your productivity while maintaining peace of mind. But this second book, the Intentional Living book, is an anthology. So there are some other authors that have been included in the book. And the good thing about this book is, well, first, again, this one is tips and principles, questions, things to get your wheels turning about how you can better become productive in your day-to-day life, in your life and business, right? But this next one, this is going to be some real lived experiences from these co-authors about how they challenge, or they met challenges in life, right? But then they had to become intentional about how they approach the life, right? The issue that came about in their life, because that was the only way that they could overcome that successfully and learn from that, so that they could grow and teach others. So that is going to be what you're going to get out of that book. So I hope you're excited about it just as well as I am, and you're looking forward to hearing more about that as we approach 2018, because it's coming. And we're going to have a launch and all that good stuff, but I want to make sure that you know that you should be on the lookout for that. So I look forward to sharing that with you and all the other things that I've talked about. I look forward to the remainder of this 30-day challenge, because it's been absolutely fun for me. And it's not only a challenge for me to exercise my act of going live, which I typically do in my group, which I haven't done as often as I should. So this is a good way to get me all warmed back up as we enter into 2018. As I always say, there's never a perfect moment. Make the moment that you have perfect. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. And that's why we're doing this challenge. It's not just for me. It's for you. Because it's time for us to move and get beyond being stagnant. Let's make some moves. Let's make them together. And I will see you again tomorrow. I won't promise a time. But your girl will be on at some point. Okay? So thank you all for joining. Allison, Dorothy, who else did I have here? Melina was on. I don't know if she's still there. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for the heart love and the thumbs up and all that good stuff. Make sure you guys share. Even after the recording is completed, you can still share. So with that, I'm going to say good night, and you all have an awesome, awesome, awesome rest of your night and an amazing week, even though we'll be talking. Bye for now.